Let me tell you a peculiar story about. Let me tell you a peculiar story about demons, ghosts, witches,
think I made it.
You made it. You're here. So here we are in StreamYard. One of the things that's weird about StreamYard is that it doesn't do mirroring, which I have gotten used to, but it's always a little weird at first.
Yeah. So like,
yeah. But it has some great, so we can be full bleed like this with both of us.
Nice.
Or we can be letterbox style, which is useful if you have a guest and two people who need to be on screen together. Then there are various other configurations with, somebody big and somebody small. I think if I remove you from this, if I remove myself from the stream and re-add myself, then we'll be in the other order. No. All right. Well, anyway, who needs that one really?
Yeah, who cares? Oh, this would be perfect. I can just invite Richard and he can just show up and not have to worry.
Yeah.
I do not want to worry him with this responsibility.
Technical stress. I will say that if you are going to be in two people talking in two separate places, you want at least one of you to be wearing headphones. Otherwise, you may get some audio feedback. So, I think you may just want to experiment with, like, do you both need to be wearing headphones? Probably just one person wearing them is sufficient. But basically, as long as you're, like, right now, like, if I, hold on, I'm going to disable my headphones. All right, so my audio now
sounds different. Oh yeah, and I'm getting an echo.
That's because my mic is pretty close to my speakers, so the sound that's coming out of the computer is going back into the microphone, and that's where you get that echo loop.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So if Richard doesn't have headphones that he's comfortable with, it would be a good time to get some.
He has great headphones, and I'm going to buy a set for myself.
Great. All right, let me get these plugged back in. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. There is a feature if you do you have audio settings down below, little cam mic thing?
Yes, I do. Let's see. I have a mute. I have a stop cam. I have a cam mic. Can I click on that?
Yeah, click on that.
Okay.
And you should have
my built-in camera.
And if you go to audio, do you have an echo cancellation option?
I do.
Yeah. So if you uncheck that, it'll probably make your music sound better.
Great.
But I can hear an echo now.
Okay. So I'm checking it again.
Yeah. So now I'm talking and I don't hear an echo.
Okay.
So some of the, like, in general, disabling the audio processing settings makes music sound better because they're kind of optimized for speaking. This is like if you're going to be playing any live music on your show, you may want to experiment with that a bit. A great way to experiment is to send a test live stream to an unlisted YouTube event. So you can select your YouTube channel as a destination and just make sure that it's unlisted. And then you can stream out to that. And when you're done, you can watch it and see how it looked and sounded. And I'm going to show you another fun thing that happens. So over in the comments, I'm watching this from another channel. Let's see. Okay. So I just commented. I'm just waiting for it to show up. Why didn't it show up?
Oh, I'm looking at private chat instead of comments. No?
There we go. It just took, yeah. So over in comments, do you see?
Yes.
So that's the comments from the viewers out in social media. Do you see something from Charming Disaster that says?
Oh,
Hello.
hello. Yes.
Hello, yes. So that's a way to understand what's happening out in the outside world as people are watching, which is nice. But also, you can include that on screen,
Oh, that's lovely.
which is nice. And then it just makes it a little more interactive to be able to do that for your viewers. And you can do that. I think you can't do that right now because you're a guest, but you can see them. I can actually like just show them on screen by clicking on them.
Meaningful content.
Meaningful content. And then here's what it's like if I go over to the brand tab, which I think you don't have access to as a guest right now.
No.
But I can, let's roll a video.
Let me tell you a peculiar story about demons, ghosts, witches, loneliness, hallucinations, and the strange haunted house inside your own head.
And then I click on it again and it's gone. And if I let it play out, it would just go away and we would be back on screen.
Oh, great.
So it's like super seamless.
So was that video actually uploaded to your StreamYard?
Yeah. So it's always best if you can to be rolling content that's local, or at least not like going from YouTube and then back out again, because so yes, that's a video that we downloaded and then uploaded to StreamYard, and now it's just in there until we take it out.
Yeah, that'd be good. And also because I'm also thinking if I'm going to be grabbing videos from a YouTube page, sometimes they're gonna have ads in front of them, and stopping and starting them might be weird. And
it's really best to especially if they're all under 5 minutes. Like I think this is the best way to roll videos.
Yeah, I think they're mostly under 5 minutes. I guess I'll find out.
and if they're not, like you can experiment with like sharing the Chrome tab thing also works fine most of the time, but it is best if they're local.
Yeah, I should think so. Okay.
And then there's just some like basic stuff that applies to regardless of what platform you're using. Like if you can be hardwired, it is much better than Wi-Fi typically.
Oh yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. Yeah.
And you know, if everybody's hardwired, that's the best. If somebody is using a mobile device, it is possible to hardwire a mobile device using a couple of adapters. Yeah, this is something like nobody is doing, but I wish more people were doing. So you can get an Ethernet to USB adapter. Like I have one just to go into my laptop with a USB. Have a USB, an Ethernet port. And then you can get a USB to Lightning or mini USB adapter to go from a regular USB into your phone's port, whatever. If you have an iPhone, then Lightning, and if you have an Android, then mini USB. And you can put the Ethernet cable into the Ethernet to USB adapter, and then you can put the USB into the USB to mini USB or Lightning adapter and plug that into your phone. And that's how you hardwire your phone.
Oh, wow. It's the new daisy chain.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you remember SCSI ports and daisy chaining your devices together that way. You may be too young.
No, I'm not. I'm not too young. I remember SCSI ports and I still have like a bouquet of like, you know, SVGA to VGA to like, you know, I mean, remember when, like, if you ever wanted to, like, run a projector at a live show, somebody had to, like, run home and get a thing? Because, like, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Every time something weird would happen. And that still kind of happens, but less than it did.
Yeah.
But, so we used to get more nervous about it in those days, and we learned not to get nervous about it.
Yeah. Well, I find that, like, you know, everybody's so used to being wireless all the time now, and it's been such a leap forward in so many ways. But like now that suddenly everybody needs to like be uploading video all the time, a lot of people don't understand that that Wi-Fi is actually less good than being plugged in for that.
Yeah,
so, But you understand.
Oh yes, I've gone through. At first, I was trying just to use Wi-Fi. I mean, just for teaching, and And then finally I gave up and I ran a long Cat5 cable from my computer up the stairs and through the house
Mhm.
to where the router was in Ben's office. And then little by little, we found a bridge that would plug in down here. And then it was just running through the basement. And now I've like run it behind everything. I mean, the
Yeah.
longer the pandemic's gone on,
The longer
more
you
I've been
go,
like,
you
I
could
can't stand it. This has to change.
Yeah, no, totally. I did a couple live streams at my parents' house, and my dad, when they were like, they have a house in Western Mass and a house in Westchester, and they've mostly been in Western Mass this whole time. And Jeff and I went up to their house in Westchester to do some like recording and some other stuff. And my dad, bless him, ran a 100-foot Ethernet cable out the basement window and then up through the living room window so that we could like broadcast from the living room.
That's beautiful. Yes.
Yeah, it was pretty beautiful.
That's what we do.
So, if you were doing there's other stuff that can happen in Zoom, but I just feel like you should probably skip that and go straight to this. It's going to make your life so much easier to do it this way.
This does sound better. Just being able to go from live to a video to live again without, just with a click. I think that's good.
And the screen sharing is not bad. The screen sharing, you can experiment with that too, using the Chrome tab with it, because sometimes you don't have the file and you want to share something that's somewhere else.
True.
And it works fine. Here's that's this live stream. I can't share this live stream. That would be very confusing. Here's one. So let's see. Here's a link, and here's this. And okay, so I'm sharing the screen. There's a Chrome tab option, and then there's a little checkbox that says share audio. Otherwise, it will just share the video.
Yeah.
And I select the thing, and now you can see that it shows the whole thing and not just the video. But now if I go back into YouTube and I say go full screen, then it will fill the available space, and then I can have it be full screen. And so there's a little bit of an order of operations.
Walking in my sleep like there's something that you need to know. I know.
So that's coming from YouTube.
That looks good.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not as beautifully graceful as just clicking.
Let me tell
It's not as beautiful as that, but it's not bad. If you do use that, what I recommend for the sequence is first setting up the share in advance of when you go live. So you would you would say share screen, you would select the Chrome tab, you would maximize the video, and then you can just keep it down below. Can you see
Okay,
it?
so I can't see that right now, but I remember the little blocks that you had.
Little thumbnails, yeah.
Are those scenes in the show, basically?
It's not I wish it were scenes. That's the one thing that this platform doesn't really do. It doesn't really do scenes. But so you can only share one video at a time if you're doing the Chrome tab thing. So if you had 3 videos you wanted to share and each was in a different Chrome tab, you would have to pick the first one and have it ready to go. And then when you wanted to go to the next one, you would need to unshare the first one and then share the second one.
Okay.
So again, I think that your plan A to use the video clips overlay is the best thing. But if there's a video that's 6 minutes long, you could kind of mix it up that way.
Okay. And it can work.
Yeah.
Okey-doke. Yeah. I feel like they're all just under 5 minutes, but maybe some of them aren't. No, never thought about it before, but I will now.
I'm just looking at my notes from a recent tutorial I did with some folks who were they were teaching and they were using Zoom, and so their their concerns were a little bit specific, but I'm just trying to see if there's anything that's like more universal that would be useful to touch on. That's all Zoom stuff. So here are a couple things that are not specific to StreamYard, but are kind of specific to live streaming on Facebook. So when you go out to Facebook, there will be comments that are live in the stream. And while the stream is live, you as the page admin, you can pin a comment, just like you can pin a post to the top of your page. You can pin a comment in the chat stream while the live stream is going. You can't pin it after the fact. You can only pin it while the thing is going. And things that you might want to pin would be things like donate, tip the band, here's our Venmo, or here's where to buy our music. So what I recommend doing at the top of your live stream is having, let me pull up I have like a run of show checklist doc, which is like the stuff that needs to happen. And one of those things is share the links in the chat in StreamYard and then go to Facebook and pin it. So here's what our donation links look like. So I post, oh, that's not it. That's a different thing. I blame the cat who is half on the keyboard.
It would be like your PayPal.me/
Yeah, well, what I like to do actually is here. I did it right this time. So we have multiple links, and we include the Bandcamp link as well. And so now I can go into the tech test page, and I can say pin this comment. You can't pin from within StreamYard, but you can open up a tab and have Facebook. Find the thing, pin it, and then get out of Facebook. And if you're rolling a video, that is the perfect time to do that kind of behind the scenes admin.
Okay.
You can also pin in YouTube, which is a new feature. If you're sharing links in Facebook, it doesn't matter if you have HTTP at the front. But if you're sharing links in YouTube will not make them live links unless HTTP is at the front.
Okay.
So for this, I have all those HTTPs in there because I know I'm sharing these links to both places simultaneously. Otherwise, when I'm sharing links here in the comments, I like to share them one at a time because then in Facebook, it will preview whatever page it is. Oh. So like if we just share this one, that will actually make a little preview image in Facebook.
That's nice.
But I think it's good to if you have multiple places for people to go that you want them to know about throughout the show without having a thing on screen the whole time. I recommend just having all your links in one place and pinning that so people can easily find it.
Okay. So
and you can have up to 10 people on screen. You're not limited to 2. So if you have more people you want to include at some point, that's totally an option. It does the orientation with 3 people. You can either have 3 vertical slices or have it arranged more like in Zoom, where there's 2 above and 1 below. And then 4 is quadrants, and then after that, I assume it's just full Brady Bunch.
Yeah.
And I know that's not the kind of show that you're planning for now, but just
in the future,
never know. You never know.
You just never know.
Yeah.
And other guests on, that would be nice.
Yeah.
So good. Well, this sounds like just what I needed to know.
Oh, and I have actually, if you are exploring this option, which like the other sort of competitor is called Restream. Restream is very similar to StreamYard. I think StreamYard works a little better and is a little smoother to operate. The main difference is that Restream can also accept an RTMP as well as send out an RTMP. So if you were like, we want to make our show in Zoom and then put it out to multiple places, that's where Restream is better. But if you're like, we just want to make our show in the platform and then send it out, then I really recommend this one.
Okay.
Restream has a similar like interface to this for the built-in, what they call Restream Studio, like if you're not pulling a feed from somewhere else. But I have worked with both and I find that one to be a little weirder than this one. So but I can give you a referral link for both of them. So
Great.
if you want to like do a trial version or like play around with them, you know, you can see which one you like. But I like StreamYard. I think it's probably better for your needs. And if you use the referral link, I think you get like $10 off or something.
That's good.
So I'll send you those after this.
$10.
$10.
$10 can go a lot farther than it used to.
Yeah, I mean that's like
Especially if you buy gas with it.
yeah, you can buy gas with it. You can get like 3/4 of a face mask if you're splurging on something nice.
It was so, I mean, well, maybe funny is an exaggeration, but when we first, in March, when we first started lockdown, I lost about half my students right away, adults mostly, who just didn't want to do it on the computer. And half of them stuck. And so that was a big pay cut every week for me. But then after about a month, I realized that I was doing so little driving that I was saving so much money on gas that I was ahead.
That's funny.
Yeah. Yeah. So that, I don't know.
Maybe you need to raise your prices.
Yeah, maybe. Or I don't know. I don't know. But one day, hopefully, we won't even have to buy gas. One day, we'll be electric.
Yes. Amen. Amen to that.
Yeah.
All right. I'm just thinking about. It's funny. Like when I'm doing this for Zoom, there's like so many more little things. It's like, oh, and here's the workaround for this thing, and like, yes, it's possible to do this, but like it's kind of like not obvious. So, like here's like the secret to how to do it, and like this platform is just a lot more straightforward.
Yeah, this seems like more of a. It's straightforward is how it seems compared to Zoom. Zoom is kind of, Zoom is something that was made in a different time. And I'm sure that they're just updating it right, left, and center. But I had used it to attend a virtual illustration class like 2 winters ago. And I was really surprised at how well it worked for that. And how well it still works for most things. But for these things, it's like a little bit.
It's challenging, but again, like there are certain things that it's actually really good at, but it just really, there's not like a one size fits all solution for all of this stuff. Do you and Richard both have external microphones?
Yes.
Great.
Yes. I mean, I have a USB one here that I use all the time, but I also have my condenser mic, my professional mic that I can, and an interface that I can plug into my computer. So if I were going to play and sing a song live, I think I would use that one.
Cool.
It's much better.
And so I would definitely recommend doing some test streams to an unlisted YouTube and just hearing how things sound. Especially, and even like testing Facebook versus YouTube. Oh, here's a tip. When you first connect StreamYard, to your Facebook account.
Mhm.
You'll connect it to your Facebook account kind of as a whole, and then you can decide if you want it to have access to all the pages you admin or particular pages that you admin. I mean, you might as well just give it access to everything, and then
Choose
you
what
know,
you are going to
and
use.
just choose what you're going to use. But it will ask you what privacy level you want it to have when it's streaming on your behalf. And the answer I recommend giving, unless you are planning to do a lot of like stuff on your personal channel that is for public consumption rather than your band page, I would recommend making that only me privacy, so that then you can send test live streams from StreamYard to your own channel, and then you're the only one who can see them as a way to see how things look and sound without them being public. Because although YouTube has this unlisted setting where you know, unless you have the link, you won't come across it, Facebook pages default to public, and you can't say it's, you know, like there actually is some like secret privacy setting on Facebook Live, and I just noticed it the other day, and I don't know if it's a new thing or if it's only for like after the fact or for like video, for like non-live videos. So I don't, this might be like something that Facebook is tinkering with, but but at any rate, what I recommend is saying StreamYard posting on my behalf is fine, but make it visible to only me, because that'll just apply to your personal profile. Anything you post to a page will automatically be public.
Okay. So this would be the privacy to select for, say, my personal page, but the band page would be different.
Yeah, so
Band page would be public.
Because the band page is a page, it is always going to be public.
Okay.
So I recommend using the most private setting, which is only you, for the sort of, it's a little confusing when it first asks you to connect the account. If you say only me, that applies to things that go to your personal page. Things that go to your band page will always be public.
Okay. Alrighty.
And then you have a handy way to see how things look without it being
Yes.
visible to everybody.
Yes. Because everything automatically archives once the stream is done, right?
Mhm.
There's
Yeah,
nothing,
and then
you never have to set that or anything. It's just
it'll archive, and then you can go and unpublish it if you don't want it to be visible after the fact.
okay.
When you schedule, when you start a StreamYard broadcast, like you'll create the broadcast, and then it'll just be there. It'll sort of live as a room, like whether or not you're broadcasting from it. You can either say schedule or stream now. And if you say stream now, it'll open up the room. It won't be live until you hit the button that says broadcast.
Okay.
If you say schedule, it'll do two things. It'll create a YouTube link on your YouTube page that is a place you can send people to in advance, which is nice. And it'll do the equivalent thing on Facebook, but it's a little different because I don't know why. Facebook is weird about scheduling stuff, I think. So it will kick out a post on your Facebook page that says, your band page has plans to go live at this time on this day. And people who follow your page may see it, hopefully. And then they can say, remind me. So they'll get multiple opportunities to be notified about it, which is useful. But it doesn't actually create a scheduled live stream from your Facebook Live producer, I think, until it actually goes live.
Yeah. I've run into some confusing issues with trying to see streams sometimes. Just sort of chasing them around Facebook, looking for them.
Okay, so the reason for that is partly this kind of thing, that it's hard to like have there be a link in advance of when the stream is. But you can go to the settings of your Facebook page, and in the tabs section, like the section where you like say which sections you want to appear on your page, you can enable something that says live. And once you've turned that on, the live tab, it means that you can always send people to the link. So like in my case, yeah, I'll put it. So in my case, it's facebook.com/charmingdisaster/live. And what that does is it always sends people to the current live stream if it's live, and it'll send people to all of the archived live streams if it's not currently live.
That's really good to know.
It's really good to know. And it's but you need to enable it for it to work. So like if you try it on your page right now, it'll give you like a 404, but then if you turn it on, it'll send you there. It'll send you somewhere, like either a page that has
Doesn't
old
have anything on it. Yeah.
yeah. The other thing that I like to do at the top of the live stream, in addition to sharing the donation links and pinning them,
Mm-hmm.
I like to share. So the moment that you start live streaming on Facebook, that is when the URL for that specific live stream is generated.
Exists.
And from StreamYard, you can, so I have, because this is my account, up top, I have a little tab with each of the places it's going out to. And there's a little drop down on each of them. And one of them says view on whatever the channel is. So once you've started your live stream, you can use that little drop down to find the URL. So if I click on view on Facebook right now, it'll take me to the actual URL where the live stream is. I like to, at the top of the stream, although it's sometimes hard to find the right moment to do this if you're on screen. But if you're sharing videos, again, like that moment when the video is rolling is a great time to take that link. And if you've created an event, like an invite page event, to paste it there and say, we're live. Because like yourself, I have often chased live stream links around, and you would think that it would they would go in the event, but they don't always go in the event. So I like to do that at the beginning of the show.
Yes, that's a good tip. Okay. Great.
And the last thing I will mention is that when you're creating that Facebook event, Facebook will now ask you, is this a real live thing or is this an online thing? And if you say it's an online thing, it will say, is it a Facebook Live or is there some other link? And you may think, well, we're sending it to Facebook Live, so I should pick Facebook Live. Don't pick Facebook Live. It's just not, that is not set up for like sending a feed through this integration.
Okay.
So what I recommend is to say other. I will put it in the details of the event and then do that.
Okay. Great. Okay, terrific.
When is your library gig?
It's excuse me, December 2nd.
All right, cool.
So I should have just enough time to get my my act together here with this, and trying to get about four new videos done.
Great.
We should be fine. So
Great. Well, I hope it's really fun and smooth and that you enjoy working in this medium.
thanks. Yeah, me too. I mean, I enjoy it a lot more than not getting to do any performing. So,
Yeah.
so.
The first, 3 months of the pandemic, Jeff and I were not in the same space at all.
Mm-hmm.
We've since potted up our households, but we were doing all of our shows from 2 locations. And,
Yeah, I remember.
And we had a lot of fun with it, actually. Like we had a lot of fun figuring out what we could do in 2 places with stupid screen gags and taking turns singing and doing solo numbers.
Yeah. So. Yeah. I remember quite a few things that you did. It was cool. So yeah, limitations, ukulele players know limitations can be a good thing. Limitations can expand everything, in fact.
Totally.
So, yeah. All right, great.
Awesome.
Well, I guess we're out of time. How shall I pay you today?
Venmo will work, or PayPal, or
PayPal's easy for me.
yeah, okay. It's just my email, elia.bisker@gmail.com, the same one we've been using. And I would just ask you to use the friends and family option.
Sure. Will do.
Cool.
Elia.Bisker. Okay. All righty. Well, I'll do that right away before I'm
Thanks.
on to my next online activity of the evening.
Wonderful. Yeah, I have a 7:15 call for the Bindle Stiff show, which I am taking tonight. So
Oh, wow.
I have a couple hours of free time now, which is nice.
Real work. Yeah. I have a Kung Fu lesson.
Oh, neat.
Yeah. The Kung Fu studio. I've been studying Kung Fu for, well, it's been 4 years. I mean, come the election, it'll be 4 years. And it just went on Zoom. The studio just basically went on Zoom and just kind of tried to figure it out. And
Wow.
so that's just every week I just dial in on Zoom, and I've rearranged my whole space now. I built myself a little dance floor so that I would have a place to jump.
Cool.
Yeah, it's working out better and better. Okie doke.
All right. Well, I'll let you go. Really nice to see you. Also,
Really
I
nice to see you too.
love your hair color. It's so
Thank
pretty.
you. Thank you. I've bleached all the color out, and I'm just putting color back in, and I don't think I'm ever going back to natural. No fun.
I know, it's kind of inspiring. Let's see. All right. Well, enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thanks. You too.
And keep an eye out. I'll send you a couple of referral links. So if you want to sign up, you get a little discount, and I get a little